Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode or last night's episode of Arrow. And oh my gosh. Oh, guys, that ending. Wow. When Ra's al Ghul tells Nissa and Oliver that they're going to get married and that she's going to be the wife of the demon, I was like, wow, this is awesome because they hate each other and it's just like so awesome. But the first thing I thought of, okay, so I don't know how many of you out there used to watch Spartacus, which was one of my babies back in the day. I loved that series, and there was a time when the actor who plays Oliver was auditioning to be the new role of Spartacus because the main actor passed away, and he was up for that role. He didn't get it, but what I think is so interesting is that Nissa's character on Spartacus would have been his love interest had he gotten that part. So the fact that we are on a completely other series and now these two are going to be husband and wife, I think is just awesome. So I'm actually all for this pairing and I can't wait to see what happens. So we realize that this has been a few weeks later since Oliver has accepted the position as Al Sahim, and he is now the heir to the demon. And Ra's al Ghul is putting him through all this different training, and he's pretty much handing over, the passing of the guard. I guess like he's, showing him all these things that he needs to do, and he needs to basically, now that Oliver has accepted this position, he has to take down the person who thought that they were the rightful heir, and that is Nissa. So he heads back to Starling City, and he is out for Nissa. He is there to go and kill her. And of course, their whole team, Felicity, Diggle, his sister Thea, they all don't believe that Oliver's gone to the dark side, but when they see him for the first time, they realize that maybe he has. And I mean, I'm not really sure if he's completely gone to the dark side, but the way he's playing it, I'm totally loving it. And I do believe that he is either playing Ra's al Ghul, and I don't know why he would do that, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So, of course, we were told by Ra's al Ghul that, Oliver's been taking these herbs and these things that I guess can create some hallucinations. And at the very beginning, we see him fighting with Diggle, and he stabs Diggle, and then when he falls and he turns around, we realize that it's not really Diggle, and that he was imagining that it was, but he stabbed him nonetheless, right? So, it's interesting to see what or who Oliver's having visions of, but that he's ultimately seems like he's going down this path. He was ready to kill Nissa. He took his arm back, ready to stab him. At one point, when he reached his arm back, I thought he was going to turn around and stab Ra's al Ghul, but he didn't. And then Ra's grabs his arm and he's like, "Look, obviously, you have proved that you were going to kill my daughter, but maybe she can be of some use to us." And this is when he announces that you two will be husband and wife, and I'm like, I love it. So we also saw earlier on Nissa and Laurel still doing their training, which I am enjoying, and I'm enjoying their relationship too. And I like that Laurel was fighting tooth and nail to try to save Nissa. She didn't want Nissa to turn herself in. She didn't want Diggle to turn herself in order to get back his wife. So, obviously a lot went down in this episode, and I like that sort of Diggle and Oliver went head to head, and it, we sort of brought their relationship back to when they first met. And Diggle said, if there's ever a moment where you think like you're pretty much losing your humanity, I'm going to pull you back and I'm going to remind you that all these people love you. And so it was interesting to see all that kind of stuff play out in this episode. We kept getting these images of Diggle's wedding, and basically, Oliver's like his brother. And even his wife says to Oliver when he kidnaps her, after Diggle's brother died, I tried to get through to him, but I couldn't. And you were the only person that he let in. You were the only person that he looked at in that way, and you sort of were able to fill that void that was so missing in Diggle. And I know that you're still in there. And he was just like, whatever, I'm not listening to anything you're saying. So, when he started fighting with Diggle at the end, and then ultimately he looks like he's about to do what we saw at the very beginning of the episode, and then he gets shot by an arrow, and who is it? His sister. So I was like, wicked. So his sister, stepped up and was willing to, I don't ultimately think she was going to kill her brother. but she was at least going to try to put him down in a way that she could stop him from doing something that he knew that he would ultimately regret, which was killing his best friend Diggle. So, obviously everybody is looking at Oliver now in a different way. They basically feel that he's gone, he's dead, like he's lost his soul, and whatever he's done in these last 3 weeks, it is no longer Oliver in that body. And so they are pretty much saying that they have to go on and save the city without him because he's not there, like that, he's gone. So at the very end now, we see Ra's al Ghul takes him to another part of the house or wherever that he's staying, and he basically tells him that you have to do the ultimate thing now to erase yourself from your past. You're no longer Oliver Queen, and the only way for you to do that is to basically kill everybody in Starling City. And he gives him the serum that we keep seeing Oliver trying to get in the flashbacks. And in the flashbacks in this episode, we see that he destroys all of the serum, or they believe they do. And Maseo and Tatsu's son actually looks like he was affected by it. And at the very end, you see blood dripping from his mouth. So that wasn't good. But in present time, Raza has like a vial of this thing, and he goes, "You know what this is?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's that bioweapon, blah, 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 blah." And he says, basically, you have to go and release this into Starling City and kill everybody. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. And you're just like, seriously? Wow. So, yeah, some really great stuff in this episode. Some awesome fight scenes. Felicity tried to stand up to Roz and stand up to all those guys. And I don't know, she didn't stand up to Roz. She stood up to Tatsu in this episode, or no, Maseo in this episode. And then, she's obviously looking on in horror at who Oliver has become, or if he's pretending to be this person. Yeah, he's not looking too good to the rest of his crew. So all that stuff worked really well for me. Again, I'm not love, but I'm really liking the relationship between Laurel and Nissa, and it'll be interesting to see what happens now if she ultimately does become Oliver's wife. Like, are they going to make them have a child together? Like, how far will this go? Obviously, what is that going to mean for all of the Felicity and Oliver shippers? Sorry, guys. But I mean, I'm actually going to like this combination between Nissa and Oliver. I can't lie. I think it's going to be very intriguing to see what happens there. But yeah, I did like how all the stuff played out between Nissa and Laurel, and that those two, and you can tell that Laurel has a bond with her, and it's obviously through her sister. And she's like, I already lost my sister. I've already lost my dad. I'm not going to lose you too. And she does. She cares about Nissa, and she realizes that Nissa saved her sister's life when she could, and she's even saved her life and helping her train and learn how to fight and everything. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forwards. But yeah, the fact that Oliver kidnapped Diggle's wife and was using her to lure on Nissa back to what's it called? What's that place again? Where they were, was pretty interesting. And, if Oliver's gone to the dark side, I'm kind of liking it, to be honest. And I can't wait to see what happens. And I also liked Thea in this episode. I like that she stepped up, and then at the end, Felicity told her that Roy is still alive, and that basically she can go to him if she wants. And and I'm sure that she just doesn't want to see Thea get caught up in all of this stuff that's been going on. So yeah, pretty solid episode, guys. I enjoyed it. I liked the ending. I thought everything was really good. All the fight scenes were awesome, and I cannot wait to see what happens with the remaining episodes. I think we only have like 2 or 3 left. So yeah, it's looking good. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of this week's episode, and I'll see you next week. Bye.